Manic. Episodes.
That's cool though. As soon as I started coming out here to record this podcast, somebody decided that they're either gonna race a Formula One race a half a block away or do maybe the most involved shrub cutting I've ever heard in my entire life. There's no way that guy is operating that with his hands. It's gotta be a machine. I'm not quite sure if the lava is picking it up, but boy, is it gonna distract me for the next 10 or so minutes. Welcome to episode 3, Manic Episodes with Michael Shane Cannon. I'm in Chandler, Arizona of the Phoenix area. And man, what a beautiful, it is underrated. An underrated part of the comedian job is to leave the gray, dismal shit weather and my loving family behind in the awful, uncelebrated months of between January 2nd until springtime. And I get to enjoy the lovely weather and beautiful ambiance of Arizona. What's better than this? I'll tell you what's better, is that my family is still struggling in the cold. Guys, no, it's that time. It's that time again where I'm gonna change everything. I'm gonna flip the script, change my perspective, change my approach, change the filter in which I see life, and go full positive, go full Magic Johnson, approach life with as much vim. I don't know if I could say the next word, even though it starts with a V, but it sounds like something else. You get what I'm saying. With as much as I possibly can, and stop with this collapse upon myself negativity. I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again, and each and every episode may have something to do with this. This is what I struggle with the most. It's just perspective, it's approach to life. Because inside, I'm a disciplined guy that can kind of harness positivity at a moment's notice, like I get glimpses of it, but sustained positivity and hope and optimism and even self-love is just, I don't know. I feel like I'm not suicidal. I want to get that out. I want to let people know that if I die, it's an Epstein situation. I did not want to go. There is somebody that wants to see me rot. But, not a full Epstein situation. There's not as much going on behind the scenes financially. I'm not suicidal. I almost said I've never felt suicidal, but that would just plumb be a lie. Did you know Arizona is recreational legal for marijuana now? Not that this is what that is, YouTube. This is sage. I'm actually trying to rid myself of some spirits. So I'm just burning in hopes. I'm doing the Kyrie Irving, pre-playing the Boston Celtics. We had a not so positive experience last year, so I'm just kind of clearing the air in full white girl fashion. And that's what I do to my insides. I sage them of all ghouls and goblins. So, suicide. I'm not suicidal, but sometimes I do feel too lazy to live. You know what I mean? Like sometimes there are times where I don't want to die, of course, but the idea of doing anything, like I would rather think of 1 million ways to kill myself than record this podcast. That to me is an easier brain exercise. It feels more comfortable. I'm not putting in any effort. It comes to me naturally. So I would never go through with it. I try to explain this to people and it's a real bummer that, listen, I'm a white man, so any white man who talks openly about all the simmering rage underneath and the violent fantasies that they have, but they'll never act on, I understand why society may have a problem with that. I understand why you're not necessarily ready to hear that as a joke. But it does make me feel less seen, and you know what happens when that happens. I should go to therapy again. I haven't been to therapy in a while. I just don't want to find a new one. I don't want to start from zero. There is nothing, as somebody who loves to talk very clearly and who can't shut the fuck up to you guys, and I apologize, but I don't want to start from square one. I don't want to have to tell the whole story to a new person, and I certainly don't want to go back to my first therapist. So I'm kind of stuck between a cock and a hard place, and I just don't know what to do. So that's why I'm just unloading on you fine folk, and unfortunately you press subscribe and you're notified every time that I'm having some sort of mental health crisis. I don't think therapy is for everybody anyway. I think this is I used to have a lot of theories about psychedelics and therapy, and if the world was just crop dusted with psilocybin, just a fucking farmer plane just flying low and just, hitting us all with that God particle. And then everybody would maybe come to and just hug each other and realize that we're all connected. We're one with the trees, the bees, and our knees. And we should just more or less get along and stop all this infighting, I've changed my tune. I've seen way too many people take fistfuls of psychedelics and just immediately trigger a dormant mental illness that otherwise would have not come out. That's cool. At least he's getting right below the balcony. There's not a leaf on the ground either. This guy is purely doing this for recreational purposes. Should I tell him quiet on set? Should I call ICE? There was a guy, I made a joke about a guy in the audience. He said he was Mexican. He offered that information. I didn't pry it out of him. And one guy after the show, literally waiting for the bathroom, because I go to the same bathroom as everybody else. No special treatment in the venues I'm in. And I'm standing next to this guy and he goes, you know, I'm ICE. I was like, you don't say. I didn't know what he was, I didn't even know why he was telling me. And I'm like, you don't say. And he's like, yeah. That guy was Mexican. And I'm like, oh, okay. I loved how that just in his brain, he's so in love and in bed with his own job that just the sheer mention of the Mexican culture gets his Doberman ears moving. He's like, I don't know. I feel like some people are too dumb for therapy. Like, I do believe that. Why do I have so many waters? Did somebody not give me water when I was a child? Is that why I drink this much water? Was I withheld water? I do remember having sludgy piss as a tot, and that definitely speaks to being dehydrated. Sludgy piss, the name of my autobiography. I do think there are people that are far too dumb for therapy. I've met them, I've known them, I'm friends with them. And there's just something that happens where, listen, it's a business, right? At its worst, therapy and mental health shit is a business, so it does behoove them to give you maybe not necessarily the best advice, but advice to kind of make you progress just a little bit, but to keep you on that fucking couch for as long as humanly possible. And I do think some of my friends, God damn it, am I gonna snap. What does this guy not know? I'm doing beta episodes of a podcast that is yet to be released. There is not one leaf. Not one leaf. He's literally blowing water on the ground. I mean, there's no way you guys can't hear this, right? I'm trying my best to convince myself that this is not a podcast ruining moment, because we've been on a roll. I feel like I've hit the marks. I've talked about exactly what I wanted to talk about. And if this somehow destroys this episode and makes it unlistenable, that guy last night gave me his number. I could fudge this guy's documents. Even if he's legit, I'll make it look like there was some whiteout on that page. What was I saying? Oh, therapy. I think some people are just too dumb for it. I think, it really reaffirms some of your worst intentions when it's done improperly. Obviously, people that have good intentions, people that are actually trying to help, therapy can be good, but I do think there are hucksters in every profession, especially ones that are set out to help you, because they know that you're open for business. They're like, oh, this person is having a tough time. I could upsell them on treatment for years to come. I never thought I would think like this. I never thought that I'd go full circle Irish. I'd start out as a cynical boy who believed Christ was the answer and therapy is a tool of the devil, to then go through psychedelics into the therapy world, cure myself, go completely out of therapy, still in the psychedelic world, and then out the other side to be like, you know what? Therapy is a complete grift. I don't buy it, and I think anybody that goes to it is a lesser person. God damn it, my alarm's going off. We're back. Sorry, my alarm went off. No idea what that was for. I've set so many alarms throughout the day to remind me to do things that I absolutely have to get done. And every single time one of them goes off, I forget to label it, and I have no idea why it even sounded. There is just a major deadline being missed right now, but hey, I don't give a shit. This podcast that is yet to air is important to me, and maybe to you one day. Who knows? On the other side, I'm already assuming that by the third episode, we are in the top of the charts. Therapy is a grift. I don't know if I even believe that now. I say a lot of things and 8 seconds later, I'm like, I don't even agree with who I was back then. That's where, God, I wish I had like real hardline opinions on things. I feel like I would be further along comedically and career-wise if I could just stick to an opinion no matter if it was right or wrong. People that just have opinions, everybody knows what side they're on, so that side can then choose to support them. Me, my opinion is all over the fucking map in a complete Jackson Pollock explosion with no linear progression, no linear connection to each other. They're all over the place. So of course people are like, what is this guy talking about? Why do I give a shit? Oh, he's as uncertain as me? So why am I listening? I get it. Man, do I get it. What was I talking about? Oh, I mentioned that I was not suicidal. That's good. I'm in Arizona right now, like I said earlier in the episode. The Chaos fans, thank you guys. You are really starting to come out, show support, and it's making me emotional. But I also get very emotional when I'm on the road in general. My algo kicks up soldiers coming home nonstop, like it just knows that I miss my kid. I wonder if that's part of it. I wonder if TikTok has some sort of geo-tracker that notices you're far away from home and then also notices that your wife's phone is not near your phone and then kicks up shit that's gonna make you wanna commit suicide. But I won't do it because I'm too lazy. I lack the work ethic to really follow through on deadening myself. Last night was so fun, but I don't know why. I'll say people, but it's mostly women. People, mostly women, just completely think that my life story is made up. Like almost after every show where I explain that I met my wife when we were kids, we grew up next to each other, blah, blah, blah. After every single show, there's some dingbat that's like, so like, is that true? Is that true? And it's like, why would you talk to me if even a part of you thought I made that up? What kind of full-blown sociopath would I be if I not only made up the fact that I'm married, but I created a backstory about meeting this person when I was a child? I created a full lifelong narrative, a fake lifelong narrative. And for whatever reason, you're like saddling up next to that guy and being like, so like, is that made up? Because like, if it is, well like, you want to be with that guy? You want to bang a guy who made up that he met his wife when he was 10 years old? Because if you do, and that was made up, I will be wearing you shortly. Not me, but a guy that did that, because I'm not doing that. I just don't, I don't know. Again, in terms of just lacking the effort, I lack the effort, the energy, the whatever it takes to cheat. I just don't have it. First of all, I won't do it because I don't want my son to be a piece of shit. I'll just leave. If I really want to do it, if it's truly worth it, which it never is, because all it takes is me going back to my room, just getting rid of the absolute devil inside of me, and then being happy with my decision process, because who cares? What am I? Me not having sex with somebody is honestly the best case scenario for both of us. It is. Because you get to live on with the fantasy that maybe I would have been good at it, and I get to live on with my family. Win-win for both of us. Take the picture home. If you want to just go take that out or do something with my hand that just removes that from the internet. But I don't know, nobody cares. Who cares? I don't even think they wanted me. I'm just saying that because they put their arm around me and asked if my life story was true. And plus, all I'm doing here, this is just indirect gaslighting to my wife in hopes that she watches or listens to my podcast. Honey, I just want you to know that there's competition out there and you better keep your game sharp. That's it. Cross-country gaslighting, which, by the way, I don't think gaslighting even exists. I think gaslighting is a term made up by people who kept losing arguments. What am I hurting you with my words? Exactly how I intended? I mean, a few years ago, that was considered progressive. Manic episodes with Mike Cannon. Manic episodes.